All right, in this video is chapter 5, video 8, and we're going to carry on and we're going to look at the loan payment program. This one's got a lot of moving parts to it because what we're trying to do here is we're trying to calculate a monthly payment based on the present value, your approved rating, your percentage rating, your annual percentage rating, and your term that you're using. So I've got this program already set up in my other program here, so I'm going to run this just to show you how it's supposed to work so that we can clearly understand it. And here's how it works. So let's say for a moment I've got a car loan, and I'm buying a car for, let's say, $35,000, and the car company is going to charge me 3% interest, and we're going to pay every single month, and we're going to pay for 5 years. So the question is, how much do you have to pay each month to buy a $35,000 car for 3% each month for 12 months within a year monthly for 5 years? So it's 60 payments if you think about it. And the answer is $592.27. So that's the calculation. So this is we've got a lot of things going on in this one. So kind of decoding this and looking at it from the logical programming point, you need to keep track of how much the present value is. You need to keep track of your annual percentage rate, your term, and term just means, do you want to pay monthly, do you want to pay bi-monthly, or do you want to pay bi-weekly, or do you want to pay weekly? I think I got that right. That one is semi-monthly, sorry, and that one is bi-weekly, right? And then you have to type in the number of years. So you have to keep track of all these variables. And then with all the variables, we're going to also then keep track of and do the formula calculation. Now, in previous chapters, we could probably do this. Just collect all the data into our variables, do the calculation, output the results. Pretty straightforward. But there's a lot of little subtleties that we're going to show you in this particular program. All right, so to get started with that, I'm going to go back to your program, and this is the code so far that you've got, and we're going to modify that. But let's go through it first. All right, so with the program, we can see up at the top here, we're going to need to keep track of our present value, our APR, our term. Our term is already entered in here for us as a pull-down list, and then the years. So let's have a look at how these are going to work. Now, if you have a look at, that's just declaring your variables. So we got double variables, and of course the number of years will be an integer. And now for the assignment statements, we need to enter all that data into our variables. And in chapter 4, we looked at a new method here called the try parse, which is similar to parsing, except it's going to try to parse it, and we can translate this to a Boolean value. And put in a condition statement on, and then direct the output. And we'll do that, and we'll expand on this program in the next videos. All right, so what we're going to do is take the user's input, and if we can parse it into a double, we're going to output it, the value, into the present value. That's how much money the car would be worth. What's the present value of the car? So that would be the $35,000. All right, from there, we're going to do the same thing with the annual percentage rate, and we're going to output it if there's no wrong error. So it's just entered in as an integer value, and we're going to convert that later. And then finally, the last piece of information is the year, the number of years that you want to pay on this particular car loan. So we're going to output that if we can parse it into an integer value. So that's not too difficult. We've done quite a bit of this already. Now the formula, and I'd give you guys the formula for sure on a test for this. And this formula could be written in multiple ways. But basically, we want to take our APR, divide it by 100, multiply it by the sum of all of this, or the calculation of all this, which is 1 plus the APR value divided by 100. And the second part of the argument of to the power of is the term times the years. And we have to use this math class, which we looked at in previous classes. And then finally, once we get the answer, we're going to take the answer and we're going to output it, and we're going to convert it to a string, and we're going to make it look like currency. So that's kind of the fundamental kind of chapter 3 and 4 of this course of how we can write this program. But there's other things going on behind the scenes that I want to show you in the next video.